Here's a list of just a few of the problems that case managers usually encounter when trying to get their special ed paperwork completed in a timely manner. We have included in the next slides some of the Georgia Department of Education guidance on how to address these issues that you've brought up. Here is their wording on how to handle if a parent fails to respond to a meeting invitation. Here's how you can address it if you are encountering a parent that is not allowing you to get a meeting scheduled. And here is how you can address if a parent just doesn't show up for an agreed upon IEP meeting. Remember when you are scheduling these meetings to have them in advance so that parents, LEAs, other teachers are not making you late. The most frequently encountered problem with meeting timelines is when you're turning your paperwork in for review. A lot of times people get calls in the middle of the night. This needs to be finalized before tomorrow. So make sure you're planning ahead and not making your scheduling issues an emergency for someone else.
So what happens if you do meet your timelines? We've kind of had some, negative stuff before, but what happens if you do meet those? It gives you a lot of time that you're not rushed to complete things. If a parent or somebody else, a teacher, gets sick and you have to reschedule, you have time to do that. You don't have to call in a favor like Chrissy just talked about to get something reviewed quickly. You can maintain good relationships. Dr. McKinnon only hears good things about you. And as some of you know, we end up doing some emails, and you don't get those emails reminding you. So it kind of makes your life better if you just follow the timelines and meet them.
If you aren't meeting timelines, if it becomes a reoccurring problem for you, there is also a corrective action plan. This correction action plan is completed if you're having trouble with these timelines, if the meetings are being held prior to the current IEP expiring, if your paperwork is not finalized within 10 days of the meeting, if you don't have required members at your meeting, or you're not uploading your documents in a timely manner. This is a plan for you to sit down with your school administrators, talk about what's going on, why we aren't meeting these guidelines, and what you as a case manager can do, and what we as your SPED department and administrators can do to help you and correct this problem. So this is only used if it becomes a reoccurring issue with your special ed paperwork.
So we've created a tool, and it should be in your handouts or packets that were sent ahead of time, that to allow you to put in your student's name, their IEP due date, when you should hold the meeting. You can always hold it earlier than that, their eligibility due dates, and then the RDR, when you should hold those RDR meetings. We've completed one for a caseload, a fictional caseload, and you can see like Chrissy's IEP is due on 11/13/20. So I'm going to need to hold that meeting by 10/13/20. Her eligibility, however, is not due until 2022. So I've gone ahead and written that date that I would need to hold that meeting by 1/30/22, but I didn't highlight it because that's not this school year. Let's move on down to Brandy Bennett. I've done her IEP meeting date and when I need to hold that meeting, just like I did with Chrissy. But when I look at her eligibility due date, it's due in May. So I'm going to need to hold that by 1/4/21. And I'm going to be honest, knowing school, I haven't looked at the calendar for January yet, but we may not be in school. So I may want to go ahead and remember that I maybe need to hold that in December. That's kind of my last date that I need to hold it. I did want to add that my IEP, my RDR, the meeting was held on 5/3/20, but testing was requested. So it's still going to show that due date of 12/14/20. I will go ahead and hold that, wait for work with my psychologist to get the eligibility meeting scheduled, and then we can move forward with writing the new IEP with the new testing information. So this is just an example of how you would put those things on that timeline. We are now going to give you some work time to work on that and go back to the regular chat.